Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are just a few weeks away from breeding season right now, and I have been behind the scenes working on getting my breeding plans finalized. After a lot of thought and consideration, I have now finalized my breeding groups, and I'm going to share them all with you guys. This fall, I'm going to have two breeding groups. I'm going to have Ragnar, my mature ram, and I'm going to have Gunnar, my new ram lamb. There are 13 ewes that are needing to be bred. Ragnar is going to have 7 of the ewes, and Gunnar will have 6. I've placed pretty well all my Morits and Morit Greys with Ragnar, as well as a few ewes that haven't got with Ragnar in the past. Ragnar had some tricky breeding seasons. His first 2 breeding seasons were a little tricky. His first one was really tough. He only caught a few of his ewes, and I had to toss in a different ram to cover up the ewes. Last year he did way better, and I'm like, fingers crossed he does way better again this year. So I placed all the ewes he hasn't caught the past few years in with Ragnar in hopes of some more ewe lambs out of those pairings that I haven't got. So I'm hoping for some more Morit Greys and Morits. Gunnar got my black mouflons, my badger faces, and as well as he got a few ewes who have been paired with Ragnar in the past that I have already got ewe lambs out of. So I'm just trying to get as much diversity of babies in here. So I have some of the ewes that have babies from Ragnar that I've kept, and then they also have some babies from Gunnar. That way they will be able to be bred back with opposite rams in a few years. There are 13 ewes. 5 of them are first timers, and then the remaining girls have already lambed before. Should be a good, very exciting lambing. Fingers crossed for lots of twins and lots of healthy babies, but that is still a ways away. Breeding season we have to get through first. I'm gonna go through, talk to you guys about them, as well as I'm gonna include some pictures of the sheep as I go along so you can kind of visualize that. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see these babies, and I know they're gonna be gorgeous, so I can't wait. First up in Ragnar's group is Ida. Ida is one of my 4-year-olds. I really love Ida. I love her coloring and I love her overall body shape. However, I would love to see some more overall muscle mass in her front end. She is pretty narrow in the shoulders, and Ragnar is very powerful in his chest, which is something I love about him. And he has seemed to pass those qualities onto his lambs. So I'm really hoping that this is what this pairing does, is that they get the really good size both from Ragnar and Ida. However, Ragnar brings in some more powerful genetics size-wise, and then those lambs can inherit that a bit more broader chest. Not that it matters too much. Overall, for confirmation, that is something I look for. It's just a really good stocky built sheep. That is kind of what I was looking for more or less in that pairing, just because I don't have an Ida daughter and I'd love to green that a little bit more for her and to offer that little bit more. Not that I think that Gunnar wouldn't provide that, but because he is so young, I don't know what he brings to the table yet. I think Ragnar is best suitable for Ida. And Ida is Morit Grey and Ragnar's Morit, so there's kind of a 50-50 color chance on that. Ida does have a lot of coloring in her genetics, and she has had lambs range from white, black mouflon. She's had some Morit mouflon, so there's a lot that could happen in this breeding. It'll be neat to see, but hopefully, fingers crossed, bigger build. Along with Ida, we have Icy. Icy is a 3-year-old. This will be her first year lambing. She is Gwyneth's daughter from 2022. She's a really built sheep, so I know pairing these two together, I have no doubts in the lambs coming out with really good confirmation. For me, this pairing was more or less color-wise. She is Morit Grey. Ragnar is more of a Morit Grey than he is a Morit. I was looking more just for color in this and really hoping for a ewe lamb. I would love another Morit Grey. Next up, in Ragnar's group, we have Inrama. Inrama did catch with Ragnar the first breeding, however, she had a ram lamb, and I didn't end up keeping that guy. I want to pair these two together again to try and run through to get another ewe lamb. I really love the ram lamb out of them. I would love if I could get a ewe lamb out of this pairing. Inrama is a very deep Morit. Fingers crossed for twins. This year she had her first set of twins, but not with Ragnar, and her first ewe lamb, also not with Ragnar, so I'm hoping for another set of twins and another ewe lamb out of Ragnar. Also in that group is Annie, and Annie is a 3-year-old. I also have not gotten a ewe lamb out of Annie and Ragnar, and I have not gotten a single lamb out of this pairing. I don't really care what I get from this pairing. I just want to see what that combo comes out with. Annie is a beautiful sheep. She is such a hardy sheep and she is so parasite resistant. She passes it on to her babies beautifully, so I would love to be able to keep a lamb out of her. The only thing I would change with her as well is she is a little bit smaller in the front, but she has a lot of other great traits to her, so I'm hoping that Ragnar paired as well on her does bring a little bit more conformation wise on these babies. I just want to get that breeding out of there and see what comes out of it. Next up in Ragnar's group is Isa. Isa is a 4-year-old. Isa is by far my biggest ewe in the flock. She is such a stocky sheep. She is beautiful and gorgeous. They both have such amazing conformation. Hopefully that the baby comes out the exact same I would expect from these two beautiful sheep. These two haven't been bred together, so we shall see. The last two girls in here are both first timers. I've got Helga, a yearling, and then Andy, a 3-year-old. Helga is a Morit Mouflon. I love the two coloring together and I think it would pair really well. Helga's a yearling, so it's a little bit hard to tell. I'd say she's not quite fully grown. I can tell she still has a little bit more. I know after she lambs, she should grow into her body a little bit more, but she's also a little bit smaller in the front end, so hopefully putting Ragnar on her, not only does that baby get a little bit more chance of being a little bit broader than their mom, I'm just hoping that she fills out a little bit as well during lambing. Last girl in there is Andy. She is also a 3-year-old. She is Greta's granddaughter as well as she is Alex's daughter. Andy is also a very powerful ewe. She hasn't been bred before, but she is absolutely gorgeous. She is such a beautiful Morit, and I know those babies are going to be absolutely gorgeous coming out of those two. Andy is a very perfect sheep in her personality and her conformation, but I feel with Ragnar put on her, I think those babies will just be that little bit better. Ragnar's genetics are super powerful, so I think that adding him on these ewes, not only on the ewes that I feel that need a little bit more work to make them that little bit better, whether that be conformation through their overall build or fleece or color potentially, I feel like these pairings just go really well together. It'll be neat to see the color combinations that come out and kind of how Ragnar's genetics play a factor into the conformation overall of these babies. So that's Ragnar's group. He's got Ida, Icy, Inrama, Annie, Isa, Helga, and Andy. So he's got the 7. They're all like Morit Mouflon, Morit Gray. There shall be lots of Morit babies that come out of that next year. Moving down to Gunnar's group, Gunnar is a black badger face. Up until this year, I was yet to have a black badger face here. I now have a black badger face ram as well as I have Badger, my black badger face ewe. So those two, of course, are going to be paired together. I talked to Justin at Libiscornu, that is the farm that I got Gunnar from, and Justin informed me that Gunnar only carries like 1 gene of black badger face. So it's kind of a 50-50 chance what's going to come from lambs from him. While black badger face is a very dominant color, as I have researched, because he only carries 1 gene, it's a little less likely that the whole lambs out of him come out black badger face. So for him, a lot of the ewes are paired for him color-wise. He got my black Mouflons, he got a few Morits, and then he got my black badger face ewe. I'm hoping that with the black ewes in there, because it is a 50-50 chance on the lambs coming out badger face or a different color that would be inherited from mom, I'm hoping that there is a good potential that there might be some more black Mouflons that do come out, potentially maybe some solid blacks. Because Gunnar is young, it's of course hard to see his conformation. It's hard to say what he'll bring to the table, but I do know that he is a powerful ram and he has great genetics. So I paired a lot for color-wise and just based off of what I think would be a good pair. But first up in his group, we have Badger. She is another one of my yearlings, so this will be her first time. I paired these two together based off of just coloring. They're both black badger face, and I'm hoping that the baby comes out black badger face. Fingers crossed for you, lamb, because I need some more diversity in color than just my Morits in my vlog. Next up, we have Fiola. Fiola is a 3-year-old, and she is another baby born here, and she is also Ida's daughter. Fiola is my smallest ewe I have. She's a beautiful sheep. I just would like to see a little bit more come out of her. I would love to pair her with Ragnar, but I think that pairing her with Gunnar is the best bet, just for color-wise, and I know that Gunnar does have really good genetics. I'm just hoping that those two paired, I do get a lamb that is a little bit bigger than Fiola and does mature a little bit bigger than Fiola. I'm hoping, because there is a 50-50 chance on color, that the baby does come out more black than Badger Face. Next up is Gwyneth, and Gwyneth is one of my oldest girls. She is 6. I already have a ewe lamb out of her from Ragnar, and Icy is another one of her ewes, and she is going to be in Ragnar's group. I just thought Gunnar would be a good pair. She has blessed me with ewe lambs every single year, so knock on wood, she continues that. As she has her next lambing, she's getting close to retirement, so I'm just trying to get a lot of different rams on her and a little bit more genetics. She's a beautiful sheep. I love everything about her, and everything she carries, she passes on to her babies. I haven't had any issues with her. She's been great with parasite resistant, hardy in the wintertime. She has great hooves, require basically no care at all, and her fleece is absolutely gorgeous. I'm hoping for another ewe lamb because I already paired her with Ragnar. That's why I think we'll pair her with Gunnar. The baby might come out with some more mouflon tone to it. She may also come out with more black Badger Face. Overall, I'm just excited to see what these two together do pair because they're both powerhouse sheep. Next girl is Sunna. Sunna's another one of my black mouflons. Sunna is also a fantastic ewe. She is a 3-year-old. I already do have a ewe lamb out of Ragnar with her, so that's why we're also pairing her with Gunnar. Even though she is shorter than the rest, she reminds me so much of Ragnar. She is short and she is stocky and she is everything I look for in a sheep. And her baby Feta, the ewe lamb out of Ragnar, is shaped just like her. Poor girl. She is so short and stocky. I'm hoping that Sunna as well, paired with Gunnar, I get a very similar ewe to Feta, and that hopefully it's a ewe lamb. Sunna also is like Gwyneth and brings me a lot of ewes, so one can only hope that that's the same. Fingers crossed there's maybe a black mouflon, because that's another one of my favorite colors, but I guess, again, like I said, 50-50 chance. It could come out black mouflon, it could come out black Badger Face, or it could be entirely different. So, just a waiting game. I have a lot more months to wait, but I'm gonna be over here like anticipating what is this baby gonna look like. And the last two girls in here, we have a first timer, Scotty. Scotty is another yearling. Scotty is a huge sheep. She is by far the biggest yearling I have. I'd say she's almost bigger than a lot of my mature ewes. And I think she'll be a beautiful ewe to have here, and I think she'll bless me with many gorgeous babies. Of course, I don't know what she brings, and I don't know what Gunnar brings, so I paired these two together for color, as well as I think their genetics will just match really closely together from what I can see on Scotty currently, as well as Gunnar's conformation. First timers are a little tricky. You don't know what they have the ability to produce, and because they are still pretty young, you really don't know what the future holds for them. That's another one based kind of off of coloring. The last girl in Gunnar's group is Greta. I also have a daughter of Greta and Ragnar, so this is just a pairing kind of based off of trying something new. I've gotten 3 babies from Greta and Ragnar, so we're just gonna try something else out and see what she brings. Greta has lots of color diversity as well in her genetics. I've gotten some black babies, some white babies with spotting, and some solid Mort babies. Greta is a beautiful ewe. She's tall and she is really built. I would just like to see a little bit more broadness in her shoulders. I'm hoping Gunnar seems to bring that a little bit more. Ragnar has seemed to help a little bit more to supply Greta's babies with a little bit more broadness in their conformation, so I'm hoping Gunnar does the same. I'm hoping for a little bit more broader conformation with those two paired together, but we shall see. Greta is another 6-year-old, so just like Gwyneth, trying to kind of like play around a little bit more. Those two boys are going to be my herd sires here for the next few years. I'm trying to do a lot of diversity in breeding groups so that I don't need to bring in new genetics of rams these next few breeding seasons. Hopefully I will be able to keep a ram lamb out of my flock one of these next few years, and that guy can stay here and breed my ewes. I guess one thing that I really wanted to touch on is, like I said before, one of the things that I'm focused on is breeding and producing the best quality animals, not only for my flock, but also for other flocks, as I do market my lambs every year as breeding stock. Both the rams I have are both from Labiscornu. Justin offers either elite rams or improver rams, and I get the elite rams, and the elite rams are the higher quality genetics rams. And I do that as those rams have more ability to bring in better genetics that I am looking for my flock. And with Ragnar alone, in the few lambs that I have kept from him, I have seen those genetics come into factor. Just by the build and the look of the lambs, you can see that he has brought in those genetics I was looking for. So I'm really hoping that Gunner does the same. And one thing with these two being unrelated, I can take Ragnar's daughters and breed them to Gunner, and Gunnar's daughters can be bred back to Ragnar. I currently have a few of Ragnar's daughters. They have already improved over their mom, and I can see that they have that little bit better conformation than their mothers do before them. So I'm hoping now by pairing those girls back with Gunner, that Gunner brings in his even better genetics, and then those girls' babies have better genetics than even their moms do before them. So that's kind of the goal. Each generation gets that little bit better. So breeding season for me starts around the end of October. I think I'm going to put the rams in a week before November 1st. That's just going to give them that little bit more time to settle in and get busy at work. And then we shall have babies here the end of March. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit of a deeper look into my breeding plans and kind of what I'm looking for in these babies. I'm super excited for lambing season ahead and cannot wait to see how gorgeous these babies are. If you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure to leave them down below and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can. You can find me on all social medias at Prairie Shepherdess.